Revenue increases by 146% year on year in a year of a global pandemic. I think that's pretty awesome. That's a testament to the team that we've got behind us. And the team itself has grown by 133%. So, it's not just the fact that, we had some good people at the beginning of the year. We've managed to continually add good people to this team, which has contributed to the success. Roundup of the year so far. I say so far, we're literally at the end of it. And coming to our third birthday party. Last year, this time, there was only 6 of us in the business. It was myself and Paul, then we had Jack, who was, his self-proclaimed hype man, 43 Clicks North and everything he does. Then Becky and Scott had just joined us as well, literally the month earlier in October last year. And then we had Ash, rest in peace as well. That 6 of us that we had last November, we're currently at 13 strong with new hires coming in December. Jobs currently going out now. We've got adverts running at the moment with people hopefully joining us within the new year as well. So it's been absolutely from, a 12-month of growth with a global pandemic, 2 lockdowns. I don't think it's been a bad year.
As a team of 6, only a year ago, we are now at 13. 133% growth in people. And
revenue?
140% in revenue. Now tell me that ain't good. I am the man.
That happened.
Imagine 43 Clicks North.
Yeah.
As a building. Right, got me? The bricks of the building are our staff. And me, slimy and everywhere, I'm the mortar. I keep us stuck together like glue. I bring out excellence. I bring out results. I bring out positivity. That's what I do. So when you ask me what my role is in this, I am the beating heart of this business.
We feel it's really, really important to have kind of that home that we as staff can actually call a home away from home. It's an identity, it's a personality. That growth in staff, that's come from everywhere, from kind of SEO, from PPC, paid social, CRO, web dev particularly. We've seen literally right across the board, as we kind of have been trying to position ourselves as that strategic partner for clients. We've managed to kind of see growth right across the board and brought some phenomenal kind of experts in as well. If we look at some of the clients that have come over the last 12 months as well, we've got Q Hotels, Discount Supplements, Jet Kids International Retailer there, Willoughby Caravans, Swift Caravans. We've got lots of really good clients that have kind of come on board and trusted us to be able to handle their market, and at the moment they're all absolutely killing it. We've had a bit of a tough year. It's been a very fucking tough year all around, and I think the market has been absolutely mental in so many different ways, and I think having the trust of our clients has helped us kind of generate that growth for them and for us as well. So I think that's awesome. So that kind of led us into Christmas last year. So we had our decent Christmas party, opened up in the new year. We just moved into the deep bar at this point as well. We kind of expanded the team, so we brought our very own Moro Rocker, aka Chino, into the team. So he's our superstar videographer, photographer. And then we brought in Andy Loudon as well. So Loudon was quite a really big hire for us. In terms of positioning ourselves, we knew that we needed to have some really good experience and the ability to be able to look at wider strategies for clients, not just in terms of how we utilise specific channels, but how they position themselves best within the industry. He'll kind of understand what 1 to 10 looks like for the client, where they are on that scale and what 10 can look like for them, how big they can be, where their opportunity is. It's my job to identify what that 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9 look like, so they can actually get there. So we worked really well on there, and bringing him on board was definitely a massive step for us in terms of being able to kind of speak to a client on a much higher level. So just after expanding the team with Chino and Andy, lockdown 1.0 hit the entire country. Safe to say that I was a little bit nervous about the impact that it'd have on the business. So we we was on a nice trajectory at that point, but quite obvious that it was going to impact both our clients and us and the rest of the industry as well. And I know a lot of other people in the industry have been hit hard by it. Initially, we did kind of see a little bit of a kind of a dip as clients, you know, had to pause their activity because their customer base wasn't there or their suppliers weren't allowing them to kind of fill the roles. And we really made sure that we worked with our clients on what the activity that they were running during that period was, to make sure that they weren't, you know, standing still or moving backwards. You know, we supported them in their business decisions to make sure that, you know, at the end of the lockdown, they still had a business to keep going. And I think that really set us up well for the second part of the year, you know, in terms of gaining that trust again from the client and putting them in a position so that when consumer confidence did come back, you know, they were in a position to kind of take advantage of it and actually kind of recoup some of the losses that the first lockdown did. And because of that, I think, you know, we knew that we had to kind of expand our expertise in other areas, and we brought Ben Austin, so a nice, relatively local lad, Beverley area, who was many years running biddable and paid accounts for in-house clients. So he joined the team, and I think his enthusiasm and his head for process was a real nice injection for the team overall. So it was pretty good generally in terms of trying to get processes in place, but I think Ben's attention to detail kind of really allowed us to kind of step up a little bit there as well. And his general positive attitude is pretty much infectious. Okay, so you know, after Ben came in, we started to build the team. Things were really starting to kind of gain a little bit of momentum, despite what was happening with COVID. We've been able to invest a little bit more into clients, into our own processes and our own systems. But then, you know, the unthinkable happened, and kind of, you know, one of our first employees, Ash Williams, decided that he wanted to move on to pastures new. He got an opportunity to move client side in a role that was absolutely perfectly suited for him in terms of what he wanted to do, he wanted to achieve. I was absolutely gutted, if I'm honest. I definitely thought I would be working with Ash for many years to come, but couldn't be moan at the opportunity that he'd been given. It definitely kind of suited his skill set and where he wanted to go, but it definitely kind of left a little bit of a hole in our hearts that we had to kind of fill. It's never sad. It's never sad. It's always sad when anyone leaves the business. But I think when you've got a friend like Ash, who I've worked with over 3 different agencies over a long period of time, it's always quite sad to kind of see that go. But at the same time, I was happy for him. You know, it was the right thing for him to do and the right career move to him. And all I'm, you know, wanting to do now is just show the success and the growth of the business and use it to rub it in his face of this is what he could have had. So Ash leaving us meant we had a little bit of rebuilding to do in terms of some of the responsibilities and things like that. But ultimately, we have the skills in the business to be able to kind of step in and make sure that, you know, client work didn't suffer, and we kind of continued driving that forward. And to be honest, a lot of the setup that we'd done prior to that point allowed us to kind of, you know, continue that scalability and continue that growth within the business. From July through September, we brought in several new faces that, you know, all brought completely unique things to the business. You know, one of the best introductions in terms of offerings that we brought in was Alex Bennett. You know, Alex Bennett is our lead developer, and he's phenomenal. If you sit down and talk to him, you know, make sure you book out 4 hours, because he will give you the nth degree on everything that he's doing on. But it just goes to show that he's got that knowledge and that expertise. He's brilliant with clients, and he's really taken our development offering to the next level, supporting with some really big clients, and bringing us the opportunity to be able to support clients in a way that we previously couldn't, with his knowledge and expertise, and all that's doing is allowing us to be able to kind of fulfill that mission that we've got, which is being that strategic partner. So he's been absolutely fantastic for us. In addition to that, we brought in Alex number 2, which was Alex Gower. So he joined us from one of the agencies over in Leeds. And again, you know, his expertise from an SEO perspective allowed us to kind of step up that level as well. You know, he's coming and being able to kind of manage the team. He's upgraded our offering, and essentially allowed us to step away in some areas of the business. So what he's brought to the table is that experience working with really high level SEO clients from an agency point of view, and actually again improved on the process that we've already had there. He's coming to manage a team with Becky running our PR, and Holly, who was another addition to the team during July and September. She's handling all our copywriting for us at the moment, which her writing style is absolutely brilliant. And I mean, as a managing director of the business, who I can't write for shit. You know, I blame it on dyslexia, but I think it's how I rush myself, to be fair. But her ability to be able to come in on there, and she's again made sure that everything that we're doing across the business is kind of just leveled up a little bit, you know, from our ad copy in PPC to our creative in paid social, and even to kind of content that we're putting out on websites as well. Is, you know, we weren't bad before that, now we're great. You know, her creative writing ability is really leveled up there as well. In addition to that team, so that kind of sums up the SEO team for the moment, and I will say for the moment because there's news to come in around that. Then we also brought in Tom. So Tom joined us within the PPC team. So a bit of a change in career from Tom. Previously in sales, he's come and joined us as a junior PPC to be able to kind of, you know, enter the realm of digital and be able to kind of create a new career within there, which I think is always brave for anyone to do a change in career, let alone within, you know, global pandemic. You know, that's a risk for anyone to take, and it's quite nice to be able to see that someone's willing to take that risk on us, which is cool. So if I reflect on this year, I'm probably more tired now than I've ever been, but I think that's thanks to the birth of my daughter, Madison Rose. Big ups to Hannah, my partner, who went through a bit of a tough labour and brought her to the world. So thank you for that. It's literally been the best thing to happen this year. And I don't mind saying that while I'm talking about how good 43 are doing. It is, my daughter is the best thing to happen to me this year. Sorry, Chino, it's true. But yeah, I think, you know, we're trying to build a bit of a culture that people can, you know, become the best versions of themselves, and we want to help clients become the best versions of themselves. And I think having an identity is really important for that, and having a home to do that in, it becomes really important as well, because we can tie ourselves in there. It's a place resort to meet, talk, share ideas. But saying that, we're not going to be dismissing the remote working, the flexible working that we've had prior to lockdown, and what's actually helped us grow through lockdown as well.